Good afternoon. Happy Saturday. You're listening to the Ask Dr. Ernst show. Hey, it's a show where pounds are shed, disease is dead, and where you can be set free from your health problems. I'm your host, Dr. Aaron Ernst, and today we have such an inspiring, functional health topic. We're talking about a condition that makes us fatigued and gives us autoimmune diseases, changes how our brain functions. We're talking about Parkinson's, Alzheimer's, forgetfulness, dementia. Look at this. Have you ever had your hand sort of tremor and shake? You've picked up a coffee mug and it's sort of just, vibrating. How about mood swings or depression, anxiety, even a crazy sensation like ringing in your ears, twitching of the muscles of your eyes? Guys, what I'm talking about are the side effects of a condition called heavy metal toxicity, which actually, in my opinion, is an emerging disease. It's the diagnosis that you need as opposed to diabetes and heart disease, Parkinson's or MS. What causes those conditions could be toxic heavy metals found inside of your body. Unfortunately, we live in a world today where heavy metals are becoming a part of everyday life. Listen to this. Lead, mercury, aluminum, cadmium, thallium are all toxic heavy metals that are found in everyday products and things you interact with daily. Your deodorants are often loaded with aluminum. Also your pots and pans. And the cans that we drink food items out of sometimes and also get food items in. Cadmium is found in vaping clouds and e-cigarettes and cigarettes. Thallium is a known water toxin. It's found in most municipal waters. Lead can be found in paints and in water. And also mercury is found in some of the fish we consume, some of the shots we get. And the speculation, of course, right now is, do these heavy metals have a major effect inside of your health? Medicine often says, well, yes, if it's an acute poisoning. If somehow you swallowed a fourth of a cup of aluminum, they would rush you straight to the emergency room and pump the heck out of your stomach using charcoal and binders to say, prevent an aluminum toxicity. Same thing with other heavy metals. Mercury and lead, they only really address it if it's acute, meaning you just got exposed to it. But what about how 99.999% of people I work with have chronic health issues? Diabetes didn't just show up one day. Heart disease didn't just creep up on you last night. These conditions take years to develop, and what we're learning today is that your toxicity, specifically your ability to excrete heavy metals, determines your likelihood of having said conditions. So what are we going to do in our show today? We're going to break down what is a toxic heavy metal. How do you find out if you have them in your body? How do you know if they're connected to your condition? So maybe your sleepless nights or your chronic fatigue or your depression, even rashes, eczema, psoriasis. Yes, all of that could be related to toxic heavy metals. So how do we know if we have them? How do we know which ones we have? Why on earth do we have them inside of us? And what do they do to our health? Why is it so that the conventional doctors can't find this, can't connect the dots? And most importantly, what do you do so your body can heal by itself? That's the key. We want you healthy, happy, healing, and whole. And today, we have to address toxic heavy metals. So, hey, this is your Health Hour. The Ask Dr. Ernst show exists for a specific reason. You ask a health question, we answer with holistic, healthy, natural methods and techniques. If you're new to us, visit AskDrErnst.com. Top right-hand corner is a contact us, and guess what? There's also a free consultation offer. Do you know that the average consultation with a physician is 15 minutes, usually about $80 to $85, and you often leave going, well, I guess I got another pill I need to take. What if we take a completely different approach? What if we answer the cause of your health question, find out how you can test to find the root, fix it, and let your body heal by itself? That consultation is free. You heard me right. Free, free, no cost at all. All you need to do is click on the button that says request a consultation. You'll schedule a time right there online into my call schedule. I'm going to chat with you. I'll call you. We have 15 minutes to uncover root cause. What's causing your health issue? And guess what, guys? It's an easy technique and an easy method for you to heal by yourself. It could be toxic heavy metals like we're talking about today. It could be a toxicity, other things, biofilms, pesticides, herbicides. It could even be something neurological, an interference in brain-to-body communication, or gastric that's preventing your HPA access, how you adapt to stress to be able to let your body heal. What do we do at the Ask Dr. Ernst show and clinic? We help people to heal themselves. We help you to be your doctor so your body can create restoration, but you have to remove the interference. Again, free consultation button is at the top right-hand corner. If you'd like to ask a question or submit maybe a radio show topic, use the Contact Us tab. And don't forget, we have a ton of free downloads, ebooks, thousands of recipes, and many different health articles that can point you in a direction to self-healing. So again, AskDrErnst.com, and all the information is there for you. Hey, I'd like to give a shout out to a couple of our listeners. Todd in Charlotte, North Carolina, started using a magnesium chromium supplement we talked about weeks ago and has already lost 10 pounds and his blood sugars are down 30 points. Todd, boom. Christopher in Gastonia said, I did a 24-hour fast. My sugars were the lowest I've ever seen in months. I now know that I can do this. Hey, Christopher, guess what? Good for you. I love it. And look, if you're looking for results like that, make sure you engage with not only just us here online and on air, but tune in to the broadcast we do each week. Facebook.com/AskDrErnst, YouTube.com/AskDrErnst. Everything is there for you. So today, toxic heavy metals. What are they? How did we get them? Where do they come from? What do they do to our body? What are the most dangerous ones? Which ones do I need to know about and pay attention to? How do we detox from them? There's a simple, easy way, even some foods that you can eat that will assist your detox. Watch this. The foods we have to avoid because they're full of toxic heavy metals, and supplements that aid in the natural process called chelation. That's the secret, guys. Most of us are taking pills to correct our problems, but instead what we get is a health issue because of toxicities. So we're going to show you how to use oral and other products that will help to pull toxic heavy metals, reverse the interference, undo the damage, get it out of your body, and then guess what? The fatigue disappears, the autoimmunity is gone, the skin irritation clears, the dementia goes away, the insomnia goes away, you start sleeping well, your hands stop shaking, your energy goes up, your weight goes down. I mean, my God, what else would we want? Your bank account goes up. I mean, it could when your health comes back. So removing heavy metals is the best thing you can do for your body. And today we're going to break down the step-by-step process of where they come from, what they are, how to get rid of them. And don't forget, this is your opportunity right now as we take a commercial break to visit AskDrErnst.com. Top right-hand corner, request a consultation. It's absolutely free, guys. 15 minutes, and we'll discuss where your health issues are coming from, what you can do to start taking steps to heal it naturally, and we'll get you connected with free resources. AskDrErnst.com, and we'll be right back.
Sterling believes in the science of CBD. Here's 3 great reasons to choose Sterling CBD. Reason number 1, Sterling is pure CBD. Sterling CBD is made from pure CBD isolate. We remove all the THC and unnecessary compounds, leaving only pure CBD. Reason number 2, backed by science. The U.S. Anti-Doping Agency, USADA, has approved CBD for U.S. Olympic athletes, but they only approve pure CBD, like Sterling CBD. Reason number 3, our organic hemp is FDA approved. At Sterling CBD, we quality control test at every manufacturing stage. We start with organic hemp plants and track them to our FDA-registered food-grade extraction facility. Our pure CBD products include capsules, isolates, lotions, and oils. We even have CBD pet products. You can find Sterling CBD at drernstcbd.com. Use the coupon code Dr. Ernst for 20% off your order.
How come there are people who drink a pint of whiskey a day for 20, 30 years, and at the end of it only 20 or 30% become cirrhotic? What happened to the others? And we speculated, we hypothesized, oh, it's the enzyme, alcoholic dehydrogenase made by the stomach. Maybe it's different, maybe it's genes, maybe it's polymorphism. The answer appears to be coffee. If you drink that much alcohol and drink 1 cup of regular coffee a day, 20% reduction in alcoholic cirrhosis risk, 2 cups 40%, 4 cups 80%. It's not a license to drink heavily.
Right.
And drink coffee and protect your liver. You know, you could still get Korsakoff psychosis, cardiomyopathy, pancreatitis, kill people on the road,
Sure.
ruin your marriage, but it does protect the liver. It's pretty amazing.
Here's a secret your grocery store does not want you to know. At ThriveMarket.com, get up to 50% off all your organic groceries delivered to your door for free. Shop organic, non-GMO, gluten-free, and paleo. And get a free jar of coconut oil. Thrive Market. Wholesome products, wholesale prices. Get your free coconut oil today only at ThriveMarket.com.
Good afternoon. Happy Saturday. You're listening to the Ask Dr. Ernst Show. Hey, it's a show where pounds are shed, disease is dead, and where you can be set free from your health problems. I'm your host, Dr. Aaron Ernst, and today we're discussing toxic heavy metals. How do these metals affect our health? And in fact, current research, and when I say current, I mean like 2019, 2020, 2021, is connecting your amount of metals to the severity of major chronic health issues. Everything from high blood pressure to cholesterol to diabetes, even difficult ones, thyroid, MS, Parkinson's, cancer. What if we say the C word on the radio? Cancer. And also neurodegenerative, MS, Parkinson's, Alzheimer's. So guys, like think about this. Every major condition most of us are scared to death to get. Right? I never want to get cancer. I don't want heart disease. I don't want a heart attack. I don't want my brain to fall apart and start getting MS and Alzheimer's. Yet, recent research is showing, unfortunately, if you have heavy metals in your body, you could end up with those conditions. The depth and degree of your toxicity determines the severity and the incidence, how quickly that disease comes about. What is a heavy metal? Well, it's a metal that's heavy. By definition, it means it's really difficult to get out of the body because it tends to bind itself to specific proteins and other organ tissues like your bones and your brain and your organs, and it doesn't naturally get excreted. So it's heavy or sticky because it sticks to your body. Well, that's my definition of the answer. Technically, a heavy metal is a metal that's dense, meaning it's more than 5 grams per cubic centimeter, just like you were thinking about that, I bet. But if it's metal and heavy and sticky and toxic and it gets inside of your body, research shows that significant exposure can lead to, here we go, ready? I'm going to read this to you, acute and chronic toxicity, which leads to excessive amounts of metals sticking to the body, like fat cells, brain tissues, kidney, liver, spleen, and stomach cell tissues. And as the body tries to get rid of these metals, they often find themselves wound up in bones, organs, and fat. So the number one reason, listen to this, all of us, as we're about to end this year and begin 2022. I want to lose weight, Dr. Ernst. I want 20 pounds down. Watch this. The number one reason you can't lose weight. I've tried everything. I've done every diet. I've done everything under the planet. I'm even a vegan, and I've fasted for a month, and I gained 5 pounds. It means that the fat you have on your body is toxic. And the number one toxin that hangs out in fat are heavy metals. Aluminum, cadmium, thallium, lead, mercury, etc. Long-term exposure to these metals can lead to both physical, molecular, chemical, and neurological degradation. With severe exposures, it can even mimic things just like most diseases. Again, like I talked about at the beginning, Parkinson's, Alzheimer's, MS, neurological issues, chronic fatigue, fibromyalgia, dementia, digestive disorders, tremors. I'm not memorizing this. I'm reading the list to you all because it's so long, there's no way I could memorize them all. Numbness and tingling in your hands and feet, metallic taste in your mouth, night sweats, decreased immunity, anemia, impaired motor controls. So people with Parkinson's and resting tremors, The list goes on and on and on and on and on. So who is susceptible to heavy metals? Guys, I hate to say this. All of us. Every single one of us. We live in a toxic world today. They're in our food. They're in our water. They're even in the air you breathe. Here's some people who generally have high levels of toxic exposure. If you work in the auto industry, I hate to say it, tons of chemicals. If you work in the dental profession, lots of heavy metals. If you work in a construction field or you're a painter or a restorer of wood or other kind of products, we tend to see heavy metal exposures. Industrial agriculture, maybe you're a farmer, or maybe you work with some sort of industrial chemical. There's a high likelihood you've got toxic heavy metals. How on earth would we know? Okay, well, guess what? The advent of new technology is the ability to run tests. But this isn't a blood test. This isn't going off to your doctor and saying, hey, doc, it's my annual physical. Can you look for heavy metals? You know what they're going to say? We don't do that. And you don't have a heavy metal issue. If you did, you'd be dead. Because acute exposure is almost the worst thing you could ever have. We're talking even potentially lethal if you have high levels of mercury or lead or thallium in your blood. Because remember, doctors like blood tests. They like urine tests. Look, if you have heavy metals in your urine, that's a huge problem. But there's no prescription to get the metals out, so often doctors don't do heavy metal urine tests. They look for things like bacteria and stones and casts and sugar, proteins, the classic things that tell us how diseased you are. We're talking about metals exams that will look for how much is in your body. Those of you viewing our live stream, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, /Ask Dr. Ernst, you're going to see a panel here I'm holding up, which is a toxic hair elements test. I use this. I'll talk to you why hair in a moment. But can you see how we can see for said person high levels of aluminum, high levels of antimony? This one has high levels of barium and bismuth and thorium and nickel and silver and tin and titanium off the charts. Okay, so what am I looking at as a holistic physician? I'm looking at someone who has a severe health issue. Now, could it be heart disease? Yep. Could it be MS, Parkinson's, Alzheimer's, neurological tics, tremors? Yes. Could it be diabetes? Yes. Could it be an issue with digestive problems? Yes. See, this doesn't tell us what your problem is. It tells us why you have a problem. Because if all the metals were within the normal reference range, everything from aluminum down to titanium, then we would get to say you don't have a toxic heavy metal issue. And most of the time, people who are extremely healthy test normal. And unfortunately, these people who are very sick and have health issues that they're looking for a way out never get the test done until they meet with someone like us. They get the test run and pooh, it's as high as you can imagine. And guess what they say? Dr. Ernst or whoever, will getting the metals out help me to get well and healthy? Yes. What do you think the next question is? How do I do it? And where do they come from? And so let's discuss that. All right. Number one, lead. It's a big issue, unfortunately, for a lot of us. Lead is a toxic heavy metal that is found in 25% of U.S. homes because they still have lead in their pipes and their paint. If the house was constructed before 1978, there's a very high likelihood that there is lead in the paint. And here's the thing, guys. Lead is air combustible. I was going to say, not that means it burns. It's air soluble. It's vaporized. It can go into the air. You can breathe the air in. So lead isn't just something that you touch. It's something you breathe in or you swallow it because it's also found in most water that's contaminated. What does lead do? Well, it competes with calcium, which means anything that your body needs calcium in your body with, lead can go there instead. So let's think. Let's ask a quick question. What's the highest amount of calcium we have in our body? Bone. So if lead gets in your bones, the calcium comes out, and guess what? Your osteoporotic scores go up, your bones get weak, they get brittle, etc. And lead doesn't make you have steel bones. It makes you have soft bones, unfortunately. Lead also interferes with enzymes and proteins and antioxidants, making your immune system go downhill fast. Where is lead? Today, it's in tattoo products. Lead is what is used to create the dark and the colored inks. So if you have a tattoo, you've got lead. It's found in municipal tap waters, which means unless you're filtering your water to remove 99.999% of heavy metals, like we talked about weeks ago with Gary Greenfield, the water doctor. If you missed that episode, go to iTunes.com, Audible, Spotify, Abilify, Ambilify, wherever.com. All the streaming sites have our radio show, Ask Dr. Ernst, and look up the Water Doctor Show on how to pull heavy metals from your water. Health effects of lead. This is from the research, guys. This is from PubMed. This is your doctor's supposed to be reading this. If you get headaches, you could have lead. If you have ADD, ADHD, you could have lead. If you got a mood disorder, anxiety, depression, etc., lead. If you're having a hard time remembering things, lead. If you have diabetes, lead. If you have heart disease, lead. Arrhythmia, palpitations, inflammation, and heart attacks, lead. You can see why it's so important to know what are my lead levels? Yeah, you should. Okay, second most dangerous metal on the planet, mercury. Mercury is what I consider to be the second most dangerous simply because it's also in everything. It's in your mouth. If you have a silver amalgam filling, you could have mercury inside of your body. The teeth can often leach. The small little pores next to where the filling is, they start to crack in small amounts over time. Brushing, flossing, biting, chewing, you name it, will create little tiny compressions to the actual tooth structure. So then microfracture occurs. Tooth absorbs the mercury from the filling, goes in through the blood and the nerve roots into your body, and boom, we now get mercury in our brain and our nerve system. Did you know mercury, toxic heavy metal, in the brain physically causes the myelin sheath? It's a fancy term that they use medically to mean the insulation wrapper of your nerve cells. The myelin sheath is destroyed, so the nerve becomes damaged. And they have videos online that you can watch a nerve cell running away from a mercury deposit because it knows it's toxic. So your brain can literally degenerate and fall apart if mercury gets inside of it. I hate to say it, but about 60% of patients I work with have mercury toxicity, as seen by the hair test that we run. And is there a test to find these things? Yes. Where does mercury also come from? Not just the fillings in your mouth, but I hate to say it, if you eat tuna or shark or ahi tuna or swordfish or big fish, grouper, big fish, right? 300-pound fish, bigger than you are, there's a high chance there's mercury inside of those fish. Vaccinations. We just got to talk about it for a second. Thimerosal is a mercury-based compound that's used as a preservative, so they say. And what can happen is, if it gets into your body, it can increase your mercury exposure. Does lead and mercury naturally come out? Very small amounts. Your body wasn't really designed to be heavily metal. And if it is, it can overburden your natural detox pathways. When mercury gets real high, again, what does the research say? Nerve damage, numbness, tingling, brain damage, inability to perform daily functions normally, brain fog, huge with mercury, brain fog. Mercury interferes specifically with the thyroid receptors in your body, so your energy tanks out, your weight goes up. See, there's the weight gain from heavy metals, and it's known to be a thyroid destroyer. If you're taking a thyroid medication, Synthroid, levothyroxine, whatever, you may have a mercury issue, not a thyroid issue. It also is known to cause cardiovascular disease, kidney disease, liver disease, neurodegenerative disorders. I hope you can hear why it's so important that we get these metals out of our body. We've got aluminum to talk about. We also have arsenic and cadmium, and we got to discuss ways you can pull these chemicals. But I think you would understand the first step is you have to find out, do you have them? Okay, now how much does this test cost, right? If you have major medical, Blue Cross, Medicare, MedCost, Aetna, UHC, it's a couple $100, $350. If you would like, we have an offer for any of you listening. If you're saying, I wonder if my health issue could be coming from a toxic heavy metals, we can give this test to you at cost. It's a $199 test if a doctor orders it, and you can have it for $199. But how do we know if it's something you need to do? Maybe we should do a free consultation first. Let's chat. Maybe you have a health issue like an anxiety or a depression or a blood pressure, cholesterol, thyroid, heart disease issue. Maybe you have something going on that you're going, can I get out of this? And does heavy metals have something to do with it? It could. So let's get on the phone and chat. Okay, your average doctor is going to charge you about $80, $85 to do a consultation. This is free. 704-906-2094. You can text your name and email to that, or you can visit askdrernst.com. And at the top right-hand corner, it says request a consultation. All free for you, because that's what we're here for, to help you and point you in a direction to healing yourself. Hey, it's the Ask Dr. Ernst Show. Don't go away. We'll be right back. The best is yet to come. See you in a second.
Sterling believes in the science of CBD. Here's 3 great reasons to choose Sterling CBD. Reason number 1, Sterling is pure CBD. Sterling CBD is made from pure CBD isolate. We remove all the THC and unnecessary compounds, leaving only pure CBD. Reason number 2, backed by science. The U.S. Anti-Doping Agency, USADA, has approved CBD for U.S. Olympic athletes, but they only approve pure CBD, like Sterling CBD. Reason number 3, our organic hemp is FDA approved. At Sterling CBD, we quality control test at every manufacturing stage. We start with organic hemp plants and track them to our FDA-registered food-grade extraction facility. Our pure CBD products include capsules, isolates, lotions, and oils. We even have CBD pet products. You can find Sterling CBD at drernstcbd.com. Use the coupon code Dr. Ernst for 20% off your order.
How come there are people who drink a pint of whiskey a day for 20, 30 years, and at the end of it, only 20 or 30% become cirrhotic? What happened to the others? And we speculated, we hypothesized, oh, it's the enzyme, alcoholic dehydrogenase made by the stomach. Maybe it's different. Maybe it's genes. Maybe it's polymorphism. The answer appears to be coffee. If you drink that much alcohol and drink 1 cup of regular coffee a day, 20% reduction in alcoholic cirrhosis risk. 2 cups, 40%. 4 cups, 80%. It's not a license to drink heavily.
Right.
And drink coffee and protect your liver. You know, you could still get Korsakoff psychosis, cardiomyopathy, pancreatitis, kill people on the road, ruin your marriage, but it does protect the liver. It's pretty amazing.
Here's a secret your grocery store does not want you to know. At ThriveMarket.com, get up to 50% off all your organic groceries delivered to your door for free. Shop organic, non-GMO, gluten-free, and paleo. And get a free jar of coconut oil. Thrive Market. Wholesome products, wholesale prices. Get your free coconut oil today only at ThriveMarket.com.
So this is the difference between biodynamic and conventional farming. Let's look at the difference in vineyards here. You have very green grass and herbs and life growing, and then dead soil over here. So this is a conventional vineyard where they spray pesticides, they use a lot of tractors to pull up the soil. This soil is dead, it's dry. There's no life. This is Klaus's vineyard. It's farmed biodynamically. Everything is picked by hand and they don't use any chemicals. So there's life, there's green grass, everything grows. This is the big disparity between conventional farming and biodynamic farming, and you can see it perfectly side by side. We prefer this wine, of course, because this wine is dead. There's nothing living in it.
Good afternoon. Happy Saturday. You're listening to the Ask Dr. Ernst Show. Hey, it's a show where pounds are shed, disease is dead, and where you can be set free from your health problems. I'm your host, Dr. Aaron Ernst, and what an incredible topic we're having today. At least I'm having fun. I don't know if you are. Let's take a moment and sort of do a little thumbs up like thing. Hey, Facebook, there's my Facebook camera. Can you do thumbs up and likes up for us right now? How many hearts can we get? How many blue thumbs up? Decent. All right. Hey, Twitter, how about you? Come on, Twitter, you guys can beat Facebook, can't you? YouTube and Instagram. Yeah, so guys, here's the thing. We're talking about toxic heavy metals and how they can affect your health in so many ways that many common health conditions that we're seeking our doctor's help for, might be caused by a toxin in your body they've never tested, they've never looked for, and the pill you leave with is thus making you even more toxic, possibly even heavy metals. Did you know some medications and drugs contain heavy metals, which only makes you more toxic? They're also extremely toxic to your liver. They have to be metabolized into individual components so your body says, get this out. It's called pharmacology. It's the pharmaceutical nature of putting chemicals into your body. And listen, the pharmacokinetics, fancy word, for what happens to a drug when it's in your body is the study of how your body says drugs are toxic. Get them out. What do they turn them into? And sometimes a metal is the result. They'll take a medication and pull the metal out of it. And then that metal goes to your brain, your organs, your tissues, and causes a health effect. We mentioned there's only one way to get tested for heavy metals. You need to do a heavy metal test. That can be done with hair. I like that method. I'll tell you in a second. With blood, I don't like that method. Here's why. It has to be done in the 72nd hour of your exposure. Look, metals are toxic. Your body would say this, oh, there's a lot of heavy metals in the blood. Get it out of the blood. That's going to hurt someone, this individual. It's going to hurt my host. The blood's talking, right? Get this toxic metal out of my blood. Where does it put it? Fat, bone, and organs. So if you have a lot of metals in your blood, major emergency. That's for medical doctors, guys. That's why they test and say you don't have heavy metals. Your blood was clear. What about your fat? What about your proteins? What about your kidneys and your organs? So that's where hair tests and urine tests come in handy. Why does a hair test show us that we have heavy metals? Okay, ready for this? There's a blood vessel that goes across the follicle, which is the cell that grows hair. Hair is a protein. Heavy metals like to stick to proteins. So your hair will literally print what kind of metals in your body. We need about an inch of hair, and we can look back as far as 20 or 30 years prior to find out the amount of stuff inside of you. Hair is an excretory organ. So if you have chronic metals inside of your body, your hair is going to constantly excrete small amounts of those metals on the hair follicle, the protein of the shaft of the hair. We send it to a lab. They break it apart. They give us reports, and we get to say, whoa, this person's hair had a lot of aluminum and antimony and cadmium and titanium. It's a highly neurotoxic patient. Then their health issues correlated to what we have. We get rid of the metals, and what happens? Health issues disappear. That's called self-healing. That's called you being your own doctor. That's called you fixing yourself. Mercury, big one. We talked about it. Lead, big one. We talked about it. What about aluminum? It's the third most common heavy metal that we often see. And guys, it's the second most common metal used on the planet after steel. We have steel in a lot of structures. We have aluminum in a lot of structures. And gosh, I'm looking around this room, man. I see aluminum everywhere. It's here. It's there. It's on the stand. It's the stand of my camera. It's my computer. It's everywhere. Aluminum. So here's the thing. Aluminum is something that is extremely toxic to the human body. There's no biological function for it at all. You'll never see in any medical text you need aluminum to make this chemical reaction work. Never. Aluminum is a biological inhibitor. It disrupts calcium, phosphorus, and iron, which means you're going to have weak bones, weak brain functionality, and weakness, not enough oxygen carrying. Where do we find it? All processed foods have aluminum inside of it. Some vaccinations, hey, you know how it was like this big craze years ago? Don't get a flu shot because it was mercury toxic, and all these people said, get the mercury out, get the mercury out. And we hailed it when Big Pharma said, hey, we have a mercury-free flu shot. And guess what it had in it? Aluminum instead of mercury. So they did what you asked for. They got rid of the mercury. What'd they do? They used another heavy metal. They used aluminum. So mercury-free shots are aluminum heavy. Aluminum is also found in all canned food items. So if you're drinking out of a and you've got that can, guess what? You're drinking small amounts of aluminum. It's in your pots and pans, specifically your baking sheets. So cookie sheets and all the stuff you guys cook your bacon and things like that. You throw it into the oven and you're putting the metal in your food. Aluminum affects every tissue in your body. There's nothing that is unavailable for it to attack. Skin, hair, eyes, ears, nose, throat, sinus, all of it. Heart, lungs, liver, spleen, pancreas, kidney, intestines. It goes after everything. What are the major health effects? It is directly connected to Alzheimer's 100,000%. AL is the abbreviation for aluminum. AL for Alzheimer's. Correlation? Maybe that's just a coincidence. If it's cognitive issues, it also means dementia, forgetfulness, Parkinson's, you name it. It's also been connected to breast cancer and anemia. Why an anemia? Because iron is literally depleted in the body when your aluminum level is high. It's a computer. The body can either take iron or take aluminum, and it goes, ooh, aluminum is shiny. It takes it. The iron drops, anemia kicks in. You don't have the energy you need. What about arsenic? Surely we're not poisoning people with arsenic anymore. I mean, that was something that happened like in the 1800s, didn't it? It'd be the thing where you heard detective news. We found this individual had arsenic poisoning, and their husband killed them by putting the water with arsenic, and slowly. That was like what they used to do back in the day. Well, guess what? Arsenic is now commonly found in food. It's also a known inhibitor of your mitochondria, fancy term for batteries in your body. If you shut your batteries down, what happens? Energy goes, energy down. I just said that. See, here's some forgetfulness I'm having, right? My aluminum toxicity. Energy's down. Your ability to have your immune response is down, and your body starts to fall apart with health issues. Where do we get arsenic from? I hate to say it, guys, but it's in rice products. So the rice flours, gluten-free. Also the proteins. Apple juice has a lot of arsenic inside of it. And also things like pesticides and most conventionally grown products. So if you're not eating organic, you usually have high levels of arsenic. Pesticides are arsenic-based. If you eat a lot of gluten-free products, or you love rice, or you have rice protein powders, could be arsenic in your body. So the issue is, again, we can't remember things when our arsenic levels go high. It affects our neurological tissues, just like aluminum and lead and everything else. So these are the metals we need to pay attention to. And listen, can you test for them? Yes. We offer a hair test. There's many different ways to do it, but it'll show us how chronic your health issue is. And if you want to find a way to get out of that, why don't you consider a free consultation with us? Head on over to AskDrErnst.com. At the top right-hand corner is a button that says Request a Free Consult. And when I say free, I mean free. 15 minutes on the phone, you and I. Let's see what kind of test could help you find your answer, and that's all you have to do. Visit AskDrErnst.com. Don't go away. We'll be right back, and we're talking more about how to heal yourself.
Sterling believes in the science of CBD. Here's 3 great reasons to choose Sterling CBD. Reason number 1, Sterling is pure CBD. Sterling CBD is made from pure CBD isolate. We remove all the THC and unnecessary compounds, leaving only pure CBD. Reason number 2, backed by science. The U.S. Anti-Doping Agency, USADA, has approved CBD for U.S. Olympic athletes, but they only approve pure CBD, like Sterling CBD. Reason number 3, our organic hemp is FDA approved. At Sterling CBD, we quality control test at every manufacturing stage. We start with organic hemp plants and track them to our FDA-registered food-grade extraction facility. Our pure CBD products include capsules, isolates, lotions, and oils. We even have CBD pet products. You can find Sterling CBD at drernstcbd.com. Use the coupon code Dr. Ernst for 20% off your order.
What if we told you coffee was good for you?
Coffee is the single highest source of antioxidants in the Western diet. More antioxidants than kale, more antioxidants than 70% dark chocolate, and more antioxidants than blueberries.
In fact, what if we told you that coffee is really good for you?
Research shows that 3 to 5 cups of coffee per day dramatically enhances performance in high-intensity exercise, improves memory, reaction times, and overall cognitive function, decreases risk of depression, promotes weight loss by boosting metabolic rates, reduces risk of type 2 diabetes up to 40%, decreases risk of liver cancer up to 71%, reduces risk of Parkinson's up to 30%, and decreases risk of Alzheimer's up to 65%. Overall, coffee drinkers live longer. People who drink 3 to 5 cups of coffee per day have about a 15% lower risk of premature mortality compared to people who don't drink coffee.
Welcome back. You're listening to the Ask Dr. Ernst Show. Hey, it's a show where pounds are shed, disease is dead, and where you can be set free from your health problems. I'm your host, Dr. Ernst, and on this incredible Saturday, we're talking about a health condition that is often overlooked. And when I say health condition, I mean the actual cause of your health condition. Toxic heavy metals. Rarely are they tested by a conventional doctor when we look into things like, diseases of Alzheimer's, dementia, forgetfulness, heart disease, diabetes, MS, Parkinson's, looking at issues with kidney and liver and other organic functions. Yet, heavy metals can be connected to a major breakdown with your organ function, leading to a disease. So what I'm here to share with you is, if you're diagnosed, you may have a heavy metal issue. If you're prescribed, you may have a heavy metal issue. If you have an issue that you have no idea what's causing it, you may have a heavy metal issue. Toxic heavy metals are known to affect major pathways. And how is that? Okay, well, number one, metals stick to proteins. Metals stick to fats. Metals stick to DNA and affect your genetic expression, making them an epigenetic issue. If you don't know what that means, it means the metal's what's causing your damage to your DNA, not a bad DNA gene you had. This is all in science. Now, I'm going to hold something up on our cameras. So if you're in the car, obviously don't try to look at a camera while you're driving, but maybe it's time to pull over, or maybe it's time to get out some notes, or open up your laptop or your device and go to youtube.com/AskDrErnst or facebook.com/AskDrErnst, or all the handles, Twitter, Instagram, etc. Our live stream is up, and what I'm showing you is a diagram that I drew of a cell in your body. Let's say it's a heart cell or a kidney cell or even a brain cell. Well, that little Y-looking thing is a receptor for hormones. It's a protein. You have thousands of these in your body. And what these receptors do is they receive a signal. So when a hormone lands on a receptor, the receptor tells the cell what to do. Burn fat, build energy, look great, you name it. Okay, so thyroid hormone, as an example, will give you more energy. Leptin as a hormone will make your body burn fat. Insulin as a hormone will lower your blood sugars. Testosterone and estrogen affect your reproductive function and your organic health. So how do heavy metals cause such a huge effect to our health? Well, they like proteins, and insulin receptors are proteins, so the metals go and they stick inside the receptor. Now the hormone says, wait a minute, I can't get in there, so I can't tell the cell what to do, and the cell starves for health and vitality and energy. So thyroid hormone says, I can't get in there. Thyroid hormone levels go up, and guess what your body does? The TSH levels go down, and your doctor says, you have a thyroid problem. No, you have a toxic hormone problem. What about diabetes? Well, insulin does the same thing. Insulin should land on the receptor. The receptor tells the body, burn sugar, bring blood sugar levels down. So when there's a toxic heavy metal like lead or aluminum or ferritin or arsenic, then the insulin doesn't land there. And guess what? Your insulin levels go up and your blood sugar levels go up. And your doctor says, you have type 2 diabetes. And you don't. You have a toxic heavy metal hormone issue. Do you see this? I hope you see this. Okay, what about leptin? Okay, maybe you don't know about leptin. Leptin's a hormone that tells your body to burn fat. Wait, what? We have a fat-burning hormone inside of us. I don't have to go buy HCG and all these other things. Not if you have no toxic heavy metals. Leptin is secreted by the fat in your body. The fat wants to burn, guys. It wants to. It's like, hey, there's too much of us. We got to get out of here. So leptin goes to your brain, and your brain says, burn fat. But if you have a toxic heavy metal blocking the receptor, what happens? You got it. Leptin doesn't work. Cell doesn't hear the signal to burn fat. And you go, hey, I guess I need to be more of a vegan. I guess I need to hit the gym harder. Good luck with that, because you know what happens? It comes right back, or it just actually doesn't come off at all. So can you see how metals are an issue with everything? Can you see how most of us have never been tested? We use hair tests because guess what the hair test does? It shows us the amount of metals in your body. How much aluminum and arsenic and barium and lead and mercury and thallium. And this person who I'm working with had a tremendous amount of heavy metals and had no idea that it was connecting them to their health. So we talked about lead, we talked about aluminum, we talked about mercury, we talked about arsenic. Cadmium, guys, I just need to bring it up, is about the 5th or 6th most common I see, mostly because a lot of us smoked or used to smoke or lived with someone that smoked, and it's often found in tobacco and tobacco products. You'd be amazed how many people have cadmium floating around in their body. It also is high in a lot of occupational exposures to things like batteries and solder and manufacturing processes. So a lot of people who work in plants and places like that will have them. So again, how do we test to see if we have a heavy metal? Well, you can do a blood test, but that's your physician, primary, medical, looking to see if you're about to pass away in the next 72 hours from a toxic exposure. So they pull your blood and they say, guess what? No lead, no mercury, no aluminum, no thallium. So you think you're good to go. Be really careful. There shouldn't be any in your blood. If it was in your blood, your body is so smart, it says, get it out, get rid of it, and it will shift it from the blood to fat, bone, and organ tissues. So how do we see if you have it in your organs? Number one, we look at your hair. Your hair is an expression of a protein, metals like proteins. So if you've got a lot of metal in your blood and in your body and in the tissues of your body, it goes up and it gets into the hair follicle as the hair comes out. We could do a urine test, but it's more complicated and more expensive because you have to do a first test to see, hey, is anything coming out by itself? Does your urine have metal in it just by itself? Then we have to give you a chelator, an agent that you swallow that will suck the metals out of the tissues and get it into your blood temporarily at low amounts so that your kidneys can excrete it. And then we look and see, okay, did you have any now? So watch this. If you had none in the first test, but you have a lot in the post-test, you know what that means? You're extremely chronically toxic. The chelator pulled it out of your organs and pulled it out of your bones and said, here's the stuff, take a look real quick, and we saw it. If your first test is high, no chelator, then you're extremely toxic and possibly acute, so we have to do a blood test. If the blood test is negative, we know it's an extremely high chronic toxicity, or for the about $199, which is the cost of the test, we can find out if you've been chronically exposed with only just looking at your hair because it tells us the entire expression. How much is the test if you use your insurance company or go to your physician? Watch this. Non-covered, experimental, not medically necessary. Those are the phrases you're going to hear from your doctor or your insurance company, and they'll end up charging you $300, $400, $500 for the exam. If you meet with physicians like myself in the greater Charlotte area, we just give it to you what it costs us. $199 is my fee to order that test. You just cover our expenses, results come in, and we'll help you with a health plan. What? That sounds pretty good, doesn't it? Hey, if you'd like to connect with us, if you're listening and you're going, is my kidney issue actually a metal problem? Is my diabetes or cholesterol issues a metal issue? Head on over to AskDrErnst.com. Top right-hand corner says request a consultation. Guys, it's free. Let's chat. Pick a time in our schedule. We'll call you directly and we'll help you in a path to figuring out what the answer for your health is. It's that easy. AskDrErnst.com. Okay, we talked about testing. We talked about the metals. Now the best part, I think. How do you get them out? How do you get them out of your body? Okay, number one, you have to understand that it's a chronic exposure. So even if you say to me, I'm not exposed to any heavy metals. In fact, I built my home eco-friendly, green, clean. I have not had a vaccine in the last 10 years. I have no fillings in my mouth. They've all been taken out. Good for you, but guess what? What about all the years prior to that? Even if you're in a pristine environment, the ramifications of toxic heavy metals go back for centuries for some of us. What? Centuries? How's that possible? Well, a lot of them are inherited from your parents. I hate to say it, but when your bones were forming, when you were in your mother, they're absorbing the metals that are in her blood and in her body. And here I'm going to burst a bubble for a second. Ready? Medicine says your health issue is genetic. Oh, woe is you. Your family has a bad history of whatever. Heart disease, diabetes, MS, you name it. Oh, you're going to blame your dad and his dad and his dad's dad and his dad's dad's dad because they all had the same health issues. But then guess what? We've learned that these metals can be generationally transferred. So if mom or dad had heart disease and they also had high metals like lead and aluminum and mercury, babies forming then comes out with high levels of lead, aluminum, and mercury preset for the same. Do you see the problem here? It's not genetic. It's epigenetic. It's above your genes. It's what they now talk about as familial, transferred from family to family, not genetically, but by lifestyle-induced issues. So what do we need to do? Right now, you need to wake up and recognize the only way to stop this, especially if you haven't already had children and you're looking to have kids, is to get your body cleaned out now. But most of us go, whoops, I've already got 3 in the quiver and I'm already married and I guess I'm doomed. No, you're not. It's also a good time to get it out. Even more so for your kids so that they potentially stop the expression in the chain. How are they removed from the body? Well, the most common way is through a process called chelation. C-H-E-L-A-T-I-O-N. Chelation. It means giving you a product that has a really high affinity, a likelihood of binding metals and nothing else, so that they can extract them from your body and make them safely eliminated, usually in the urine or in your stool. So we give you what are called chelation agents. It's no different than taking a supplement or any sort of medication, but the difference is these are not by prescription. You could actually get them right now. Well, I know what you're thinking. Well, where do I get them from? Well, be careful. You got to know which one to get. How do I know which one I need? Now it's a really good question. Okay, what do you have? Right? There's about 13 different heavy metals, and there's different binders that work better for others. So you might need DMSA, you might need EDTA, you might need a clinoptilite zeolite. You might be scratching your head going, oh, what? These are chelators. Are they available? Yes. Do you know where to get them from? Well, we got to know what you need first. And that's why the consultation calls are so helpful, guys. Look, there's no cost for it whatsoever. We can find out if we can help you with your health needs. But the question is, are you ready to make a difference by going a different path, learning about your body, testing your body, becoming the doctor yourself, or are you just looking for a pill to take to make yourself feel better? Chelation is what we use, and it's, again, a product that we give to you. It's either orally, or it can be done through IV, or it can be done through suppository. Guess what most people ask for? What's the one I can put in my mouth and swallow? An IV? Ugh. Suppositories? No way. So there's ways to do it. All right, how else can we get them out? Well, I'm going to give you guys a free heavy metal detox diet. Okay, it helps. It's definitely not going to suck all the metals out, but it's going to work. Dark green leafy vegetables, fantastic. Herbs and spices, marvelous. Garlic, onions, flax seeds, chia seeds, bone broth. Go to my website, AskDrErnst.com, click on the Cellular Healing Diet. Our heavy metal cleanse is found inside of that ebook, and it's absolutely free. This is also the best time and the opportunity for you to go to AskDrErnst.com and use the Request a Consultation tab. It gives you a free phone call with you and myself. 15 minutes. Most physicians will charge you $80 to $85 for that. This is free. You can also text your name and your number to 704-906-2094, and my team can work directly to connect you. So it's either that number, 704-906-2094, text it with your name and email, or AskDrErnst.com and use the top right-hand corner that says Request a Consultation. So what did we learn today? Metals are bad. They're all over the place. They're in our body, and you can get them out. You just need to follow a chelation and a heavy metal detox diet, which is online for you. Hey, thanks for tuning in this week. I look forward to seeing you guys each and every week with the Ask Dr. Ernst Show. Until next time, have a great day. Thanks so much.